All right, good afternoon. Hope you guys had a good weekend. Happy Monday. Couple of announcements. All right. Make sure that when you come to the class meetings, make sure you open up a tab for the Math Wizard teams. It's taking too long for us to go from WebEx to the Math Wizard teams, and so I want you to have the tab open at the top so when they come back and forth from the teams to WebEx, teams to WebEx. I spent a few hours this weekend changing the teams. So I didn't just mix up the names. I strategically put the teams together and our new teams. I like these teams a lot. So we'll see how you like them when we get together. Remind that the answers on your scratch have to match the answers on the exam. And the reason for this is if you have, 13 on your scratch paper and on the exam you put 31, sometimes students don't know what to put. So they give me two answers in hopes they get credit for one of them. And that's just simply not fair. So the biggest case with that is somebody will put -3, but on the exam they put 3 and they'll say that they, made a mistake. I know you guys are people of good character and would tell me the truth, but I do have some students that play that type of game with me. Like, oh, I put +3, I meant -3, or vice versa. So just make sure that your scratch paper matches your exam answers. And also make sure to work the online evaluate problems because it's necessary that you know how to input answers into this computer software program. So at the beginning of this, I didn't think it was that important, but we are living with technology and it is important that you know how to input answers. You must practice, you must be able to play the game. So you have to know how to input answers correctly. All right, so a lot of things going on. Let's just go over some of the things. First of all, tonight you have solving by completing the square and the quadratic form. You have lesson 3.3 due on Tuesday, and you have the review for 3.3 due on Wednesday. And we're going to have an exam 3.3 on Friday. So exam 3.3 is on. You're going to also have an exam on 4.1 and 5.1. And the reason why you're having an exam so soon is because most of it is just a new function, but it's the same type of thing that we've gone over with the quadratic. You're going to have to be able to do transformations. You're going to have to be able to write an equation, knowing. And so it's just a review. So I don't want to spend days and days on something that you should know how to do. So I am teaching 4.1 today. I will also be teaching 5.1 this week. This at the beginning of next week. All right, I guess that's it. 3.3 on Friday, and then you have things due tonight, tomorrow night, and Wednesday night. Okay, so today I will take questions on 3.3, but I'm going to lesson on circles today. So it's lesson 4.1. And I also left the answers for 4.1 in Google Classroom. Do any of you want to ask me any questions about 3.3?
No, it's fairly easy to work, especially with our teams.
Yeah, you guys are doing such a great job in the teams. I'm really happy about that. I wasn't sure In person, the teams work really well. I'm sure if I could train you on how to work in the teams effectively doing this distance learning. So I already know this works at school. I just wasn't sure if I was going to be able to do it online, but things are going really well. So I'm really happy about that. All right. You will not do the explore on this. So you will not do the explore. And 3 objectives. Okay, so the objectives are to write an equation of a circle, to rewrite an equation of a circle to graph it, and to solve a real world problem. Those are the 3 things. All right. So here's the first objective, to write a circle. Now, you've seen all kinds of different equations now. You've seen the equation, you've seen the quadratic equation. We haven't seen the cubic yet. You see me throw it at you, but this is the equation of a circle, and this is the standard form of a circle. I'm just going to say circle like that. This is it. It's x minus h quantity squared plus y minus quantity squared equals r squared. So this h and k is exactly what you think. H is left or right, k is up or down, and r is the radius. So to go in more detail here, the center of, it's not the vertex now, it's the center of a circle is hk. So the vertex of the parabola is hk, the vertex of absolute value is hk, but the center of the circle is hk, and r is the radius. All right, so this is pretty easy. That's why I'm giving you a test soon as next week. It's something like the center is left 3 up 2, and they'll give you the radius is equal to 4, and they want you to write an equation. Well, just write the equation. This is h and k. Pretty simple. It's going to be, and notice that what makes this a circle is that the x is squared and the y is squared. So the x is squared and the y is squared. And not only that, but the number in front of this x is 1, and the number in front of that y is 1. And as long as those numbers are the same, it's a circle. If those numbers in front of the x and y are different, it's an ellipse. So just write the circle. So this would be x minus a negative 3 quantity squared plus y minus 2 quantity squared equals 4 squared. So once again, these equations have minuses in them. So notice I wrote x minus a negative 3 and y minus 2, and then make sure you square the radius. So your final answer is x plus 3 quantity squared plus y minus 2 quantity squared equals 16. And you're probably thinking, easiest thing we've ever done. That's because you've had some good training in the past couple months. It's all the same thing, just a different flavor. So let's say they say the center is left 4, down 3. And let's say they give a point this time on the circle, 2, 5. So the question is, how do you do this? So when they straight out give you the center, HK, and the radius, just write the equation. Does anybody want me to do another problem like A? Or are you guys okay?
Oh, we're okay.
We're good.
Yeah. So what happens when you aren't given the radius? So we have HK, we don't have the radius.
Would you plug in the 2 and 5 for x and y and then solve for r?
Yeah. Yep. That's what you do, all right. Keep that thought. What was the equation of the circle again? Okay, it was x minus h quantity squared plus y minus k quantity squared equals r squared. Check this out. I'm going to make up a new formula. If you take the square root of both sides, wouldn't you get r is equal to plus or minus the square root of x minus h quantity squared plus y minus quantity squared? And we know that the radius is a length, so it has to be positive. So there, I just wrote my own formula. And it's exactly what you said, whoever said that. So if I take the point, so the center is left 4 down 3, which is your HK, and the point is 2, 5, which is XY, just plug it in. So you have X, so it'd be 2 minus a negative 4 quantity squared plus Y minus negative 3 quantity squared is going to give us R, right? So we have the square root of 6 squared plus 8 squared is 36 plus 64 is the square root of, what is that, 100? And so R is equal to 10. So they want us to write an equation, right? So wouldn't the equation be x minus negative 4 quantity squared plus y minus a negative 3 quantity squared equals, and look at this, R is 10. Somebody's unmuted. Can you guys, Alexis, can you mute yourself? So wouldn't this be x plus 4 quantity squared plus y plus 3 quantity squared equals 100? So this is all a lot of work, but it's pretty easy now that you know what's going on. So what's the moral of the story? If they give you the center and the radius, write the equation. If they give you the center and you're missing the radius, go find it. And then once you find the radius, write the equation. You guys okay?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. Anybody have a question? So you don't have to derive this formula anymore. You can just say R is equal to the square root of, yeah, so you probably already have this memorized.
So Ms. Birch, after we solve for the radius, we plug it back into as if we were given it in the first place?
Yeah, well,
The other formula?
the directions are right. Remember I erased it? It was writing an equation of a circle.
Vete para afuera. Vete para afuera.
So you
Vete
have to write, Leo, Leo, can you mute yourself? So remember, you were to write the equation of a circle, right? So you did this to find the radius, then you write the equation. Right?
Yeah, I got it. Thank you.
Okay, anybody want to ask me any questions before we leave this? All right, now the next thing we're going to do is, this is the second objective. We're going to rewrite an equation of a circle in order to graph it. Now, so what? This is the general form of a circle. So that was standard form. Let me show you general form. X squared plus y squared. So see how those leading coefficients are 1? And it's plus cx plus dy plus e equals 0. So they're going to ask you to write the equation of a circle in standard form. That's general form. So we need it in standard form to graph. So we need it in standard form and graph it. So check out this problem. So first of all, we know this is a circle because those coefficients of those squares are 1s. If they were both 5s, it would be a circle. If they were both 7s, it'd be a circle. So as long as those coefficients are the same, it's a circle. But if this was something like 2x squared plus 3y squared, that's an ellipse. An ellipse looks like this. Now, I did not say eclipse. It's an ellipse. E-L-L-I-P-S-E. So this is a circle. And the question is, what do we do? Well, you're going to love this one because you're going to put the x's together. And leave yourself some space. You're going to put the y's together. And you're going to subtract 30 from both sides. So you're going to put the x's together. You're going to put the y's together. And put the constant on the left by subtracting 30 from both sides. Now, you're never going to guess what you have to do. You have to complete the square twice. So you're going to complete the square here and create a perfect square trinomial. And you're going to complete the square for the y's. and create a perfect square trinomial so that we can write them as squares. So you're going to take half of negative 10, which is negative 5, and square it. So you're going to add 25, and on the right side, you're going to add 25. You're going to take half of 6, which is 3, and square it. So you're going to add 9 and add 9. So what you created here was the x minus 5 quantity squared. Here you created y plus 3 quantity squared equals, what is that? 34 minus 30 is 4. Look at that. La la, voila, it's a circle. So isn't that cool? So all we did was complete the square twice and we got the circle. So now we know the center is right 5 down 3, because remember that's y minus a negative 3, right? Right 5 down 3. And the radius, well, r squared is equal to 4. So r is equal to plus or minus 2. So r is equal to 2 because it's a length. And now we just graph it. So for those of you who know how to complete the square, all you're going to do is do it twice. Don't forget that the form of the circle has minuses, that are minus a negative 3. So now we're going to graph it. So this would be right 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, down 3. So there's your center. And now, if the radius is 2, look at this. We can just go up 2, right 2, down 2, left 2, and draw the circle. That's it. So if you know the center, mark the center. Up 2, right 2, down 2, left 2, done. Okay, let's do another one of these problems. Anybody want to ask me about this before I erase it?
Can you just read what's next to radius? I just can't, like, is it R? Like, there's a 1 in front of the R.
It's the square root.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
Can you guys see that?
Yeah, that's better. Thank you.
Do you guys have any questions? We're going to do another one. I'm going to erase it. Any questions? All right. All right, now, how do we know what this is? It's a circle. Because remember I was telling you if these are the same and that's a plus, that has to be a plus too. If that was a minus, it'd be a hyperbola. So instead of circle, it would look like this if that was a minus. So it's the going different directions, half of it. So it has to be a sum and it has to have the coefficient saying it is a circle. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the x's together and leave some space and subtract 11 from both sides. Now, remember, we cannot complete the square like this, right? So it'd probably be better if we just got rid of the 4 right away. So we have to divide everything by 4, divide 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 by 4. Okay, now we're going to do what we did before. We're going to put the x's together. We're going to put the y's together. And we're going to subtract 11/4 from both sides. Now we complete the square. So we take half of 2, which is 1, and square it. So you add 1 to both sides. Then we take half of -4, -2, and square it. So we're going to add 4 to both sides. So now we write the binomial square. So this would be x plus 1 quantity squared plus y minus 2 quantity squared equals, and then you have to get a common denominator. So what you're going to do over here is you're going to take your -11/4 plus 5 and get a common denominator. Sorry, this is all bunched together. So you have x plus 1 quantity squared plus y minus 2 quantity squared equals -11/4 plus 20/4 equals what, 9/4? So now we have the center being what? Left 1 up 2, left 1 up 2, left 1 up 2, and the radius being r squared equals 9/4. You have to take the square root of both sides. So r is equal to plus or minus 3/2. R is equal to 3/2. So now we're going to graph it. So the is left 1 up 2, and 3/2, isn't 3/2 equal to 1.5? So would up 1, right 1.5, down 1.5, and left 1.5? So people are going to mess up right here. They're going to write something like 1, 2, and it's not 1, 2. It's left 1 up 2. Because remember the 4 is x minus a negative for plus 1. And this is y minus 2, which is 2. All right, that's it for when it's in general form. This is how you write it in form. You're going to have to complete the square twice. All right, any questions about this one? Did you guys see the graph?
No, it's pretty like the similar, like the other one.
Okay, now the last thing we want to do is look at a real life problem, and we're going to look at 2 of them. So can you guys open up your books to 163A? It has to do with the restaurant, and I think it's a school, restaurant and school.
What page again?
Page 163. All right. Okay, I'm looking at 163. Actually, which problem am I doing? School, where is it? I was on the wrong page, I'm sorry. Yeah, 163A. This is the 3rd objective. These are real world problems. With the circle. Let me just make some comments here. If your equation is less than r squared, those are referring to points inside the circle if you have x minus h quantity squared plus y minus k quantity squared being greater than, those are points outside the circle. That makes sense, right? So these are the points inside the circle with a less than, and greater than the radius means outside, the radius squared is outside the circle. So with A, let's look at A. It says that the table lists the locations of homes of 5 friends, along with the locations of their favorite pizza restaurant and the school they attend. The friends are deciding where to have a pizza party based on the fact that the restaurant offers free delivery to locations within a 3-mile radius of the restaurant. At which homes should the friends hold their pizza party to get free delivery? So, in looking at the graph, let's write the equation. And in this case, it's going to be an inequality. So, what's the center? What's the center?
Left one, up one.
Left one, up one, because that's the restaurant, right? And the radius would be what? 3? Yes, no?
Yeah, it's 3.
So to get free delivery, wouldn't you want to use this first inequality? Yes, no? Yes, no? So wouldn't the equation be x minus a -1 quantity squared plus y minus 1 quantity squared is less than 3 squared? So wouldn't you be using x plus 1 quantity squared plus y minus 1 quantity squared is less than 9? So what are you going to do with this? Well, couldn't you graph it? Couldn't you graph the equation and then make it an inequality? So let's look at this. So left one, up one. The radius is 3, right? I didn't go up 3. Hate when I do that. So from the center, you have to go up 3, right 3, down 3, left 3. And the reason why it looks so weird is because my tick marks are not evenly spaced. And it would have to be less than, so it can't be on the curve. So that means it's dotted because it can't be on the circle. So what do you think? Can't you just graph the kids? So Alonzo is right 3, up 2. Barbara is right 2, up 4. Constance is left 2, up 3. Dawn is 0, down 1. And Eli is right 1, down 4. So what is this graph? And by the way, we get free delivery if it's, this is shaped, this is where the solutions are, right? Yes?
Yes.
The book,
Yeah.
the book did not shade that, but I'm just telling you, if this is an inequality, it's either shaded on the outside or shaded on the inside. It should be shaded, so the book's in error here. All right, so what are you gonna say? The books, the people on the inside are the ones that are gonna get the free delivery, right? So where should they have the pizza party?
At C or D.
They
At
should have
Constance at Dion's house.
Constant or Dion? Dion, yeah. Constance's or Dion's house. Right? And the reason why is because they fall within the radius in order to get the free delivery. Want to do another one? My notes are even wrong. It should be shaded. This is right the way it is. Just fixing my notes. Let's try B. All right, I'm on page 163B. Oh, it's the same problem and I just erased it, darn it. It's okay. In order for the student to ride the bus, in order for a student to ride a bus to school, the student must live more than 2 miles from the school. Which of the 5 friends are eligible? It's okay, we can do another graph. So first of all, let's write the equation. So the student has to live more than, so more than means they have to live outside. So it's this one. They have to live outside the radius. So they're saying that the school, what's the center for the school? The school is right
Right
down
one
two, right?
down 2.
And what's the radius they're talking about? 2? Yes?
Yeah.
So this would be x minus 1 quantity squared plus y minus a negative 2 quantity squared is greater than 2 squared. So they're asking you to write an inequality representing it. You don't need the inequality graph, but they're asking you to write an inequality. All right, so here it is. X minus 1 quantity squared plus y plus 2 quantity squared is greater than 4. So that is the inequality. And you don't need that to graph. So to graph, let's graph this situation. So it's going to be right 1 down 2. That's the school. And the radius is 2. So we're going to go up 2, left 2, down 2 from the center, and right 2. And this is definitely dotted. And we're looking for answers outside the circle. So the book doesn't show this, but my notes in the book are wrong. So that's this inequality represents this graph, which means all the solutions are on the outside and the boundary has to be dotted. If this was an equal, then you would keep a solid boundary, and that means it could be on the boundary, but it's strictly greater than. So it's got to be outside the circle strictly. So let's graph these guys again. So Alonzo is right 3 up 2. Barbara is right 2 up 4. Constant is left 2 up 3. Dion is 0 down 1. And Eli is right 1 down 4. Oh. So who gets to ride the bus? It looks to me
Dion
like,
and Ellie. Oh no, they have to be outside the radius.
Yeah, I think Eli is on the circle and that's a dotted boundary. He can't ride the bus.
So everybody except Dion and Elon.
Yeah. So this means that Alonzo, Constance, and what's the other person's name? Barbara? Get to ride or eligible to ride the bus. And Eli doesn't get to because he's on the boundary, and this means strictly greater than. So you can't be on the boundary. You got to be strictly greater than. And that is the lesson. The lesson is due on Thursday night, due every night this week. So this should be pretty straightforward. We did get through the lesson. So hopefully you don't find it to be too hard. Now class is over today at 2:10 and we have over a half an hour, like 40 minutes. So what I want to do is in the new teams, I want to get together and start on this assignment 4-1. But this is what you're going to do first. I don't care if you spend 5 to football team is your favorite team, either in the NFL or college. If you don't like, you have to say what you like doing at home as a hobby. And you're just going to introduce yourself and you're going to all share. And I don't care if this takes 5 or 10 minutes. All right. So you're going to go into your new teams, introduce yourself, say which football team you like. You can even say why. If you don't like football, then please share what it is you like to either watch or do. And I will see Math Wizard teams. Okay, we will not be reporting back, and class is over at 2:10. All right. The lesson went really well. I like the way it went. Make sure you look at your notes if you need help, and let me know if you need help, but I'll see you in your teams. Okay? Math Wizard teams.